In the heart of the neon nightlife of the underground black market of Qing City, a hooded young man amidst the crowded streets covertly observes his surroundings before entering a shop. He informs the owner about his intention to sell a kidney and also a cornea, each costing 2,500 yuan. As the shop owner marks the items being purchased, he questioned the young man if he was serious. Because in the past 6 months, the same person had already sold a kidney, a spleen, a gallbladder, a part of the liver, 1/3 of his liver, and a part of his small and large intestines. If he was to sell another kidney, he won't last for more than 2 days. Lying on the stretcher, the guy calmly stated that it was fine. To save his seriously ill sister, any sacrifice was worth it. The shop owner gave up on trying to advise the poor guy and picked up a huge butcher's knife. He raised it high in the air, and without hesitation, went through the procedure, causing our poor fellow to scream in agony. After that, the supposed deadman walking headed back home with a stick to guide his way. His eyes were covered with bandages. He removed the bandage and checked the people around. He smiled when he found out no one was paying enough attention to him to follow him. He then used a regeneration effect to heal his wounds. He also pulled out a stack of cash he got from selling his cornea and kidney, silently declaring that the money, including the money he'd saved, should be enough for him to pay for the job transfer ritual. He was laughing while continuing walking as it turned out that all his reasons were just a lie, and he couldn't believe someone believed that horseshit he made up. His name is Ye Lin, and he's a transmigrator, a textbook orphan, and he doesn't have a sick sister. For context, the world he transmigrated into was overflowing with spiritual energy, full of demons and beasts everywhere. There are also countless dungeon realms. As an orphan, surviving in this new world was really tough, until he discovered his unique ability, his body regeneration. No matter how severe his injuries were, his body can fully recover within minutes, and even missing organs or limbs can regenerate. He used his regeneration to sell his own organs to save up 100,000 yuan, just to pay for the expensive class change fee. Because only by going through the class transfer ritual and awakening his power can he become stronger. Only then can he stand firm in this perilous world and protect the ones he cares about, if he has any of course. And today was the big day for the class transfer ritual. When he arrived at the location, there was a group of 3 people who approached him, asking him why he had come. They knew him as a poor student, so they could not think of a reason why he could afford to attend the transfer ritual. Ye Lin held the lady's hand and spoke pitifully. "Miss Wang, in order to attend the transfer ritual, I had no choice but to take a class transfer loan." Of course, this was just a lie. Ye Lin didn't want anyone being suspicious of him. Miss Wang was shocked, and the guys with her were afraid that Ye Lin would be stuck working the rest of his life just to pay back the loan if he ended up with a useless profession. Luckily, Miss Wang permitted him to join and even wished for him to give all his best. She told him to go inside before the class transfer ritual would begin. After a few minutes, all the students who were participating in the class transfer gathered and were called one after another. The first participant was called Gao Dayu from class 5. Some students behind him gossiped that he's also not from a rich family. When Gao Dayu reached the stage, the principal instructed him to place his hand on the golden ball and relax his whole body. After just a minute, the principal declared that he obtained a support-type class, which was an A-rank poultry breeder. The students then murmur that Gao Dayu will be a poultry breeder for the rest of his life. Don't get discouraged just because it's a support-type class. There are only useless people, not useless classes. The principal stated calmly just to motivate Gao Dayu. The next student called was a lovely girl with an incredibly sexy figure, wearing a tight red dress and leather boots. She was Zhuge Nini, and everyone admired her so much. The moment she reached the stage, the principal then wished her luck. She thanked him and immediately placed her hand on the golden ball. A phoenix then appeared. The principal was surprised as it turned out Zhuge Nini got an SSS rank fire mage. Now, Arching City Academy can finally hold its head high, he added. The other students were also impressed, including Ye Lin. He knew that an SSS level fire mage could rival an entire army. After Zhuge Nini's class transfer, the principal then informed her he would discuss her training plan later with her since her SSS-Class was a big deal for their school. Zhuge Nini then went downstairs, and Ye Lin's name was called. While walking, Ye Lin heard everyone talking about him for getting a class change loan just for this ritual. Ye Lin slightly looked at Zhuge Nini and assured himself he was not going to be her or anyone's side character. Ye Lin positioned himself and put his hands on the golden ball. He has waited for this moment, wondering if he would still live a miserable life or defy fate. He was excited, waiting for his new class. Shockingly, a powerful azure dragon appeared. Ye Lin was shocked while staring at it, and a blue light wrapped his body, encasing him in a powerful glow. The students cannot believe that a student who got a class loan was lucky enough to get a powerful class. Zhuge Nini was also amazed, thinking that Ye Lin's class was another SSS rank. The principal was also glad, thinking that this was another anomaly. Ye Lin asked the principal about his class, and the principal then declared Ye Lin to be a combat class SSS level Forbidden Curse Master. Today, Ye Lin had also honored Qingqing Academy, and the academy was proud of him, the principal announced. However, before he could complete his words, he finally realized that Ye Lin had a Forbidden Curse Master profession. He was shocked as he really couldn't believe the poor student's rotten luck. The other students laughed at Ye Lin when they heard this news. You see, no Forbidden Curse Master, if any, had ever lived past the age of 25. Because the Forbidden Curse Master was the kind of profession that consumes one's own life to use a skill. Due to this, someone who has this profession always die young. Ye Lin's class was considered a trash class, and the mere thought of using a loan to acquire such a useless skill was truly tragic. Zhuge Nini decided to walk away. She sighed as she was disappointed with the class Ye Lin got. Ye Lin, ever the master of deception, fame being down. His act was so convincing that the old guy felt sorry for him. He patted him on the back and wished him good luck. Although he's such a good kid, he's unfortunate to only get the Curse Master profession. Ye Lin then asked the principal if all Curse Masters really die at the age of 25. The principal just told him not to be negative, as it was better to burn brightly than to live a meaningless life. Ye Lin thanked the old guy, stating his desire to burn brightly like the sun, and also bring honor to the school. The principal then told him that he would make a special training for him together with Zhuge Nini. Ye Lin agreed to this and smiled knowingly. He found it funny that he would die early just because his profession was a double-edged sword. Thus, of course, if he didn't have a cheat ability to counter this death threat. This dying early thing for Curse Masters has got nothing on him and his immortality. After the class transfer, everyone decided to head back home. Ye Lin was planning to head straight back to his house. He was tired and wanted to have a good night's sleep. While walking, someone called him by his name. It was Zhuge Nini. She offered him to team up with her, as she believes that the more the Curse Master fights, the quicker they die. She told Ye Lin that her intention wasn't bad. She was just trying to help since they were classmates. However, Ye Lin refused to accept the offer. Zhuge Nini didn't force him at all. She walked away, stating that Ye Lin was such a stubborn idiot heading for death. Ye Lin ignored her and continued walking. But then, another group of students blocked his way and told him that he really thinks he has risen up just because he has switched to a Curse Master. These guys were Ye Lin's classmates, and they got mad as they could not accept Zhuge Nini's earlier offer to team up with him. Ye Lin was annoyed. Women really were troublesome. Because of just 2 lines from Zhuge Nini, these idiots were looking for trouble. Ye Lin replied that he was on his way back home. The guys laughed at Ye Lin's expense. Was the poor student referring to his 10 square meter shack a home? Ye Lin, now that you're SSS ranked, how about you call me daddy, and I'll get you a security job at G Corporation. The leader of the group mocked arrogantly. The others laughed, and added that being a G Corp security guard was a privilege. He also ordered Ye Lin to kneel before their young master. Once Ye Lin takes the offer and gets paid, he can buy some nice incense for his dead orphanage family. The 3 continued to tease Ye Lin, even stating that he was just an orphan who didn't deserve to have a family. Ye Lin was already mad, and as he stares at them with a serious look, his eyes flamed with a blue and red aura as he activates a curse magic power. He told the idiots that they were the ones who forced his hand. Confused at Ye Lin's willingness to use a curse magic, knowing full well of the implications, made the 3 idiot question what he was trying to do. Was he really going to use a curse magic and shorten his lifespan? Why wouldn't I? Ye Lin also questioned with a puzzled look. Didn't you fools speak of my dead family? Conjuring a slight lightning strike, Ye Lin's attack was only to scare them. The guys, now scared shitless of Ye Lin, pleaded about the need for their classmate not to use a forbidden curse on them. But Ye Lin simply stretched his hand and challenged the idiots to come at him if they dare. However, they decided to run away in fear. Ye Lin then deactivated his curse ability and uttered, "What a bunch of trash." They actually ran off with just 1 move. As he continued to walk, he felt like his duodenum was scorched. He wasn't aware that Zhuge Nini witnessed the commotion. She was annoyed that he was getting provoked by a few insults and was ready to throw his life away. She was sure that even if someone acted like Ye Lin, who isn't a curse user, they would definitely not go far. For her, Ye Lin wasn't worthy of standing beside her. The night came, and Ye Lin was already at his home. Ye Lin placed his bag down on the couch and sat while checking his system interface. Apparently, sacrificing a piece of duodenum would summon a regular lightning bolt, but sacrificing a bladder summons thunder from burial waters. Next, sacrificing a heart can summon destruction purple lightning. If that is the case, Ye Lin concludes he would die summoning the most powerful chaos god thunder. He lay down on his couch when he felt his head spinning, but he was aware that it was the side effects of his body recovery. At the same time, Ji Lingyu went to his father and asked to avenge him. He wanted his dad to send someone to take Ye Lin out. However, his father reminded him that killing an SSS rank curse user was very risky, and there is no benefit in it for them. He's aware that someone who goes all out using forbidden spells, just because of a few insults, is clearly emotionally unstable. He snuffed out his cigarette on the ashtray and told his son not to forget that Ye Lin is from a poor background. He wants his son to learn how to use his greatest advantage to target the enemy's weakest spot. Early the next day, Ye Lin went to the Qingqing Academy. He kept yawning due to a lack of a well-deserved sleep. The students around started murmuring about what he'd done the day before when suddenly, someone tapped Ye Lin on the shoulder with a bottle. It was none other than Ji Lingyu. Inside the bottle was milk he brought as peace offering. He also brought breakfast for Ye Lin. Ye Lin was clueless as to why, but accepts the milk regardless. At first, he thought Ji Lingyu was trying to poison him just because he couldn't beat him. But the poor guy replied that he wouldn't dare. It was just his way of thanking him. "Thank me?" Ye Lin questioned with a skeptical look. "Yeah," Ji Lingyu replied with a forced smile. Ye Lin drank the milk and told Ji Lingyu to just say what he wants. Unexpectedly, Ji Lingyu stated that he was grateful that Ye Lin struck him like a bolt of lightning. Apparently, that lightning strike was Ji Lingyu's wake-up call. He also added that Ye Lin's appearance made him realize that he has been wasting his life in a daze. Ye Lin called Ji Lingyu on his bullshit and again, told the idiot to say what he really wants. Ji Lingyu suddenly kneeled and stated that he wants to call Ye Lin big brother. Ye Lin was shocked and questioned him if he happened to hit him in the head. But Ji Lingyu replied that he was serious, and that the beating he received the day before made him reflect on himself. He deeply reflected and wants to become a better person. But he needs a great role model. Ye Lin agreed to be his role model, but there need to be some tuition payment. Surprising enough, Ji Lingyu didn't refuse and immediately asked for Ye Lin's account number. Ye Lin headed to the field as he gave his account number. He told Ji Lingyu to transfer 2 million as a first-term tuition payment. When Ye Lin asked if it was too expensive, Ji Lingyu reassured him that it was not. He will inform his dad to send it right away. At this time, a novice secret realm opened on the field as a test for the students. The principal hopes all the candidates from each academy could perform well. Of course, everyone was wishing for their victory. Ye Lin and Zhuganini were in the front, so the old men beside the principal believed both students were from Qingqing High School, who got the SSS-Class profession for this year. For them, both looked extraordinary. The principal was annoyed, stating that he had already told Ye Lin and Zhuganini to keep a low profile. But these kids really don't know how to behave. 2 of them ended up getting SSS-Class jobs at once, and it seems to be just infuriating. Absolutely infuriating. Isn't it? He then laughed and turned to face the rest, questioning why they weren't saying anything. Were they all born mute or something? The 3 old guys walked away, saying they still had some things to do. As you might have guessed, it turns out they were annoyed by the principal for being full of himself and rubbing their faces in. Anyway, the moment entering the novice secret realm was issued, the examinees began to swamp the entrance like a tidal wave. Before Ye Lin could enter, Zhuganini asked him once again to team up with her. Still, Ye Lin refused, which made her think he was very arrogant. Since he was so eager to die, she won't stop him. Ye Lin ignored her and immediately entered the secret realm. As he landed, he noticed he was alone. No one was around, so he thought it was a random teleportation. A level 1 leopard cat then appeared. It roared, but Ye Lin wasn't scared at all, but rather excited. He believed it was a perfect enemy to test his forbidden spell. He then attacked it and instantly killed it without any struggle. Ye Lin was awarded 10 experience points, but he was disappointed, deeming it too little for him. He walked away while stating that it doesn't even justify the damage to his kidneys, and that he has to kill 100 of these leopard cat just to reach level 2, which is why he decided to figure something out. A while later, Ye Lin let 100 kinds of monsters chase him. As he ran, he couldn't stop smiling, believing this wave of monsters should be enough to give him a good amount of experience points. Some of these monsters have a human half-body. He stops running and turned to look at them, stating his desire to test his newly learned forbidden curse. He then casts his destructive surge. The curse was so terrifying that it increased Ye Lin's strength, agility, and spirit twofold. With burning reincarnation activated, he believes that even a level 10 monster probably couldn't withstand his full-powered world-ending thunderstrike. He then attacked some of the monsters, slashing them without any hesitation. He noticed he aged in just 5 minutes of using the skill, so he decided to stop using the Burning Reincarnation Forbidden Curse after about 1 minute at most, if he didn't want to reveal his undying body. He continued by using his Vitality Preservation. He sacrificed his left arm and tapped the ground as he activated his world-ending Fury Forbidden Curse. He killed a level 3 Grey Wolf and was rewarded with 30 experience points. Then a level 5 Two-Headed Snake and received 50 experience points. A level 6 Armored Scorpion and gained 60 experience points each for the 6 Centaur. And finally, a level 2 Killed Bee and gained 20 experience points. With that, he leveled up to level 3. He was satisfied and amazed with this development. He also learned a new forbidden curse, which was a Hellfire Scorches the Sky. An hour later, Zhuge Nini encountered the area where Ye Lin had killed all those monsters. She was shocked when she saw so many monsters incinerated to ash. She was in disbelief, wondering what had just happened. Then she noticed a hellfire. Confused, she checked it out regardless since she didn't know anyone who had the fire element in Qingqing besides her. But now there was such an intense fire element fluctuation. Also, the fire element wave might be even stronger than hers. She then saw something that gave her a hint that this commotion was surely caused by a human. Looks like Qingqing is full of hidden dragons. Zhuge Nini will definitely find out who you are. She vowed with determination. But at this moment nearby, Ye Lin was spending some time roasting some meat to eat. He was enjoying a three-eyed demon pig meat. He realized he was eating more than his usual since his body used up too much energy earlier. After eating, he then decided to head to a farther area and grind some more. When he was about to leave, Zhuge Nini suddenly appeared and called him. Ye Lin, what are you doing here? She asked. Ye Lin was annoyed that he'd ran into her. It was a hassle for him as he didn't want anyone to find out his secret. He smiled at her and replied that he was just casually roasting something to eat. Zhuge Nini then told him once more that a Forbidden Curse Masterclass was totally not suited for solo grinding. Ye Lin was annoyed when Zhuge Nini walked away, telling him it is too late for regrets now, and following her won't help him anymore. She really assumed Ye Lin was tagging along with her, so she told him she didn't have time to team up with him anymore. Ye Lin was thinking Zhuge Nini might be missing a few brain cells. Zhuge Nini, on the other hand, looked back at him and asked him if he had seen anyone else pass the area, and she stated that that person is extremely powerful, very skilled with fire element manipulation, and likely mastered Hellfire. Hellfire? Yeah, I saw him. He was a very handsome guy. He went that way, Ye Lin replied calmly. He knew he could not let Zhuge Nini cling to him, so he decided not to use the Hellfire spell anymore going forward. As Zhuge Nini continued walking, she blamed Ye Lin for wasting her time. Otherwise, she would have found the Hellfire user by now. She noticed a shadow looming above her, but when she raised her head, she was shocked to see a level 8 Dragonblood behemoth. She dodged when it tried to attack her. Zhuge Nini was puzzled as to why a level 8 monster would appear in the area she was. She looked behind her, deducing that Ye Lin might have run away far by now. She then attacked the monster with her Fireball Storm. However, it didn't deal much damage, not enough to kill the monster. The monster looked at her with anger. It charged toward her at a fast speed and bumped her, trashing her away. She fights back with her flame, but the monster roared, blowing the flame back at her. Zhuge Nini was dumbfounded as all the flames hit her. The monster stood there as the smoke settles. When it eventually did, Zhuge Nini was on the ground with her clothes ripped, trembling in pain. She admitted that she was too arrogant to believe that she can definitely defeat a level 8 Dragonblood behemoth in this secret realm. She was afraid she would die at the hands of the level 8 monster, knowing it would be a humiliating death. Lucky for her, someone intervened and attacked the monster using a forbidden curse hellfire. The poor monster was literally burned to ash. As expected, Zhuge Nini was shocked, knowing this hellfire user was the one she was searching for. Turning to face her savior, Zhuge Nini thanked this mysterious person and wanted to know his name. The questionable masked individual was none other than Ye Lin. Ye Lin was standing on a tree branch with a mask. He told Zhuge Nini to call him Ling Yi, which meant early dawn and night. Ling for early dawn, Yi for night.